So, I don't know if you guys heard, but there's this rumor going around. I don't know if you guys heard this rumor, but I heard that Rey is Luke Skywalker's daughter. Did you guys hear about that?
Really?
Yeah.
That's been all over the place.
That's a huge rumor.
Yeah? What do you guys think?
I think she is.
Yeah?
Yeah, I kind of have to agree with that. But we'll talk about that.
Christiane,
Yeah.
do you care?
I heard that she's Chewbacca's daughter.
I think, you never know. It's Star Wars universe, guys.
That's the way they were looking at each other at the end when they fly
Yeah.
off. You never
There's
know.
a connection there. Yeah.
JJ loves to throw stuff like that at us.
Well, welcome to the first episode of Rumor Central, the pilot episode, if you will, where we don't talk about anything official, just the rumors, which nowadays is apparently, according to a lot of movie sites, news. Like, doesn't that annoy you guys? Like, you read something online and you're just like, oh man, this is awesome, I can't wait. Like,
Well, half the stories we talk
Deadline's
about on
confirming
movie
it.
news are rumors.
right.
That's,
yeah.
you
But
know.
don't you hate when you read something, they say it's news, but then you find out it's just a rumor?
Yeah, that's why I think like movie sites, they kind of lead you on. If they all they had to do is put rumor in the title.
That's all you have
Like
to do.
how we put rumor, double colon, and then the news.
It's not
They
going to
just all want the clicks, man.
It's
Yeah,
not going to
exactly.
change.
All they want.
Yeah.
Clickbait.
It's kind of BS.
Breaking news: Fantastic Four has gone back to Marvel. Oh wait, no.
And then they start the article with, take this with a bit of grain of salt. you
That's
know?
that's why we recommend Collider more than any other
Yeah.
site out there because they do the
Collider.
right thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I'm your host, Gio Ramos, aka Mr. Negativity, aka Mr. Skepticism, aka whatever these names these guys come up with. I'm here with the usual suspects, Jake Berlin and Jacob Bartley. How's it going, fellas?
Pretty good.
Good,
I'm excited
good.
to start this new show.
Yeah, this one should be pretty fun.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, very laid back. And we also have a special guest. If you want to please introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Christiane. I am the female voice of reason.
Oh, well,
Female.
welcome.
A female.
Welcome.
Yeah. All right, guys, this is the first episode where we're going to recap some of the biggest rumors of 2015. There were lots of rumors and whatnot, and we're just going to run down them. I collected the list, and we're going to go through each one, talk about the rumor, whether they were true or not, what do we think about them, and just give our overall speculations and opinions. So there will be potential spoilers ahead for a couple movies coming out this year. So advance it at your own risk. All right. So the first one we're going to run through. Drew Goddard is directing a Marvel-produced Spider-Man. This was announced back in March, and we were all excited about it until we found out it wasn't true. So we know Drew Goddard's not directing Spider-Man. It's now John Watts who did Cop Car, and I think that's his only directing credit.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think? Was Drew Goddard the right choice? Do you like how they went with John Watts? I mean, what do you think so far as what we know?
Drew Goddard would have been the perfect choice in
Yeah?
my mind. When this was first rumored around, it was kind of just spinning around the internet, I was so excited when his name was thrown into the mix. And this was all before The Martian went down. But after watching The Martian, that script,
The guy's a hell of a writer.
and I mean, it kind of just goes to show, Spider-Man, he's a superhero, he's fun, but he's still a teenager, and The Martian in the Golden Globes was nominated as a freaking comedy. It would have fit perfectly.
That's hilarious.
It would have fit perfectly with the Spider-Man world, and he was already locked down to do the Sinister Six movie over at Sony.
Yeah, the villain team up.
He obviously knows Spider-Man and what the character is about.
Right.
I think him working with Marvel would have been amazing. So he was definitely I was all on board when it was around. It's unfortunate that didn't happen. But I'm still crossing my fingers that one day he will have his hand in some kind of superhero movie, maybe the sequel to Spider-Man or an Avengers movie with Spider-Man leading the team at some
Well,
point.
what about Sinister Six or Venom? Wasn't he supposed to?
I think he was just doing the Sinister Six. I don't know if he was doing Venom.
Well, I'm
as
not
well.
saying that.
They were planning
I'm
a
not
Venom
saying
film.
that.
But doing
I'm saying
one with
what
Marvel?
if he's involved with a Sinister Six or Venom?
Yeah,
movie?
maybe after Marvel sees the success of Suicide Squad, they're like, hey, maybe
Yeah.
we should do an all villains movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I remember when the Marvel and Sony deal first went down that they said that the Sinister Six movie and the Venom movie were not totally off. They weren't gonna do the same.
If that's the
things that they had
case,
before.
Yeah. Then you got to keep Drew Goddard around because the dude's a genius.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
He was supposed to direct Sinister Six, right?
Yeah, he was directing and writing.
Yeah. Dude, that would have been awesome.
Well, it's also
He did write Daredevil too.
Yeah,
he was the showrunner on
first
season
season.
1.
Yeah,
he was
first
he was a showrunner.
So they are keeping him around. Have you guys seen Cabin in the Woods?
I have.
Oh my god, it's genius.
I have not seen
Oh
it.
my god, it's genius.
I haven't seen
I
Cabin
really
in the
like that movie.
It's
a lot.
I love. I thought it was
love-
awesome. Well, here's the thing.
Never mind.
So
Spoiler.
we're talking about him being with Marvel and everything, but I know this kind of went sour towards the end, but it was Drew Goddard and Joss Whedon who did the Cabin in the Woods.
I know.
Like how it's kind of just lined up for each other.
Yeah. So you could see why Marvel, would consider him.
I think at some point he's going to do something, whether that's with Sony doing a solo Spider-Man or with Marvel doing a Sinister Six or whatever. But the dude knows what he's talking about. He knows how to write. He knows how to direct. Being around Ridley Scott and Joss Whedon, all these guys, he's fit for a superhero movie.
So he'll be back. Right?
I think so. I
in the
think
Marvel
it just
fold.
depends on what time. Maybe
Right.
he's the choice for Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
never
if they're
know.
ever going to redo those.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what do you guys think about this rumored title for the new Spider-Man movie? There was a rumor going around that it's Spider-Man: The New Avenger. So there's a
Really?
subtitle.
Well, that was
The
there.
New
There was a
Avenger.
second one, right?
Spectacular
it was the
Spider-Man.
The
yeah.
Spectacular-
That's the one I thought you were talking about.
Well, I mean, there's two.
There were two. There were
Yeah.
two of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that went around a lot too.
Which one
I
do you
remember
got? Which
that.
one would you guys pick and why?
Damn.
I personally would have chose the Spectacular Spider-Man because it's a callback to the original Spider-Man
Yeah.
comic book. Spider-Man: A New Avenger, the New Avenger. I mean, that would have fit. Obviously, it would have told people, okay, he's within the Marvel universe. Like that might have fit better. But the Spectacular Spider-Man screams Spider-Man to me. So
I would love it if they just called it Spider-Man. I know you risk, confusing it with the Sam Raimi Spider-Mans, but I wish they could just Marvel's Spider-Man.
well, that's because that's what Marvel does.
Oh,
Like,
man.
no, because like you think about the
Yeah.
original Avengers, it was called Marvel's The Avengers.
and
This could
Iron
be
Man.
Marvel's Spider-Man.
Yeah. So I don't know if they can do that or not. I mean, they can if they want to, but I wish they would just name it Spider-Man. But if I had to choose between the two, I think the new Avenger is way too on the nose.
Well, it sounds
It's
like it sounds like the first Avenger.
But I kind of like that in a way that it's, calling back to Captain America, the first Avenger. But I would go with Spectacular Spider-Man for sure.
Let me ask Christiane. So Sony finally made a deal with Marvel for Spider-Man. Do you think a name like the New Avenger would be good in terms of separating this Marvel-produced Spider-Man film from the Sony, stinkers and some good ones, or what do you think?
I think that the world already knows about the Marvel Spider-Man Sony deal, so they don't need to put the New Avenger in it.
Mhm.
That's just riding the Avenger camel back way too hard. I think that the Spectacular Spider-Man would be way better than the new, the New Avenger?
Yeah.
New Avenger.
I mean, we get it. He's in Marvel Universe now. It's made headlines. If you follow any kind of movie news, So I don't think they need to just
Especially-
throw it in your face.
Yeah.
We know everyone's excited about it. They don't need to throw it in our face. We get it. He is now in the Marvel Universe. Everyone's excited, hyped about it. Don't overhype it.
Especially, he's going to be in Civil War.
Yeah, he's
so
gonna be
by
introduced
By the
before,
time
yeah.
the new Spider-Man comes
Exactly.
out, everyone's going to already know from Civil War if they don't know already.
Yeah.
So I still want them to just call Marvel Spider-Man.
I mean, either way, whichever way they go, the three choices you have: Spider-Man, the Spectacular Spider-Man, and the New Avenger. Spider-Man's been done. The Amazing Spider-Man is similar to the Spectacular
That's
Spider-Man.
my only problem with that.
And then
It's
you
like-
have Spider-Man, the New Avenger is like the first Avenger. So whatever way they go, it's gonna
It's been
fall
done
in.
before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's not gonna be new. So
Right.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. Okay. Well, moving on. There was another big rumor back in March of last year surrounding the Ghostbusters Cinematic Universe. So we know a female Ghostbusters movie is on the way, but one site went a step further and said that Sony is actually planning a Ghostbusters Cinematic Universe. And the rumor was 4 films. The first one's going to be the Paul Feig female-directed one that we're going to get. The second one would be a male team-up starring Chris Pratt and Channing Tatum, directed by the Russo brothers. The third movie would be a team-up between the female team and the male team. The fourth movie would be a prequel movie. So, what do we know about this whole cinematic universe so far? Not much. We know that, I mean, in my opinion, I think Sony is waiting to see how audiences react to this female Ghostbusters movie. As much as we're all excited about it. It's still, another remake with a all-female cast. So what do you guys think? Do you think this is a good plan? Cinematic universe? Is the Ghostbusters universe even big enough? Do you think, what are they waiting on? Why haven't we heard any more of this?
I think, Ghostbusters isn't something like Marvel superheroes or DC or anything like that, but you gotta think about it, like the original Ghostbusters took place in New York.
Mm-hmm.
If there's that many ghosts in New York, they've got to be somewhere else in the world.
Good point.
Right? It's like
very true. Very true.
Maybe at this point, like we know that this Ghostbusters is kind of a reboot sequel. Like the original cast members are making cameos. We don't know if they're making cameos as the original characters, but if they are making cameos as their original characters, maybe the Ghostbusters workplace, if you will, has expanded to different cities in the country or around the world. And maybe the Channing Tatum, Chris Pratt team takes place in Los Angeles, California, or Chicago, or somewhere like that. As for the prequel, you don't need it. I don't think a prequel is the right way.
Fourth film, I don't know about
No,
that.
I don't
Why would
think
you
a
go
prequel
backward?
works. But
Yeah.
I do like the idea of maybe them teaming up. Like maybe something goes down to where it's like this giant ghost monster, and he has these minions, and he's taking over the country. Something almost like an Ultron-esque with these like minions, and they have to come together as a team. But I don't know if the Ghostbusters world is big enough for a cinematic universe. I like the idea of two different teams, but it just depends on how it goes down. Like who knows? Maybe this Ghostbuster comes out and people don't want to see it. Like we have to wait and see how this one does first to see like where it goes.
Jacob, how do you feel about a Ghostbusters Academy where they train people? Like a school.
So I know everybody is trying to create a cinematic universe.
Yeah, that's the thing, franchises.
Any intellectual property that's available that you can build a large universe on, they're doing it. So Ghostbusters is an interesting one because we don't know if it's connected to the original films or not, right?
We know that the original cast is making cameos, but we don't know who they are.
Right.
But we don't. Yeah, so it hasn't been confirmed that it's a continuation of those stories, and I kind of hope that it is, honestly.
I think it's better.
It'll
that they
connect
do.
everything together. Like, why not? And I'm cool with that. I mean, I think they need to focus on this first one first,
Yes.
and I think it's going to be good because you got Paul Feig, who's done very well in the past 5 years.
Spy.
Especially with comedies, and Melissa McCarthy. I mean, I know Jake, she's not your favorite, and I didn't really like her up until Spy.
Same.
I thought she was hilarious in Spy. Like, I was kind of getting tired of her. I mean, she's great in Bridesmaids.
I'm just afraid that it's going to be the normal Paul Feig comedy.
like her.
It's just going to be the normal slapstick crap.
Well,
and that's not
hopefully
what
after
Ghostbusters
this, he
is.
does something else.
Like I want the same feel as the original Ghostbusters.
So I'm excited by the idea of Pratt and Tatum in a movie.
Yeah,
together.
that's really cool.
And think about this: Chris Hemsworth is in the Ghostbusters movie, and he could be teaming up with them, and then maybe he's the connection to all of them coming together.
Yeah.
I think that is
Those three together, could you imagine
Dude.
that?
Well,
it's amazing.
Traditionally-
Star-Lord, Thor, and Gambit.
traditionally,
Everything goes back to superheroes
Every
with you, man.
all the time. Traditionally, Ghostbusters is a 4-man team. So, along with Pratt and Tatum, who else would you guys want to see?
Actually,
I'm gonna give you guys.
It becomes a 5-man team in Ghostbusters 2. Harold Ramis.
Well, nobody really,
Counts
Ghostbusters 2. But I'm gonna throw out some names. I would personally want to see Hannibal Buress and Michael Pena join the team.
Oh, that would be good.
I add a little bit of diversity and whatnot because that's everything.
How about Jason Statham after Spy?
Oh,
That would be amazing.
After watching Spy,
Yeah.
give
He's
him a
incredible
proton
in
a
that.
total an ass kicker Ghostbuster.
He goes transporter mode, just like
Who knew that he has such great comedic timing?
Oh yeah, he
Like,
does. In
wow,
Spy, he was
Spy
so
was
good.
so good.
I want to see him in comedy.
Even at the Golden Globes, I was.
That was
Dying.
hilarious.
How about
That was
this?
hilarious.
How about Jim Carrey?
That would be cool.
I would love Jim Carrey. Yeah.
Come back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He needs a good comeback.
especially after his Golden Globe speech. I don't think I saw
I
that or
don't
not.
think you have to force diversity, but I wouldn't mind seeing like a Michael B. Jordan in there.
Yeah, like an
Yeah.
apprentice type.
someone
Yeah.
like that. Like imagine him playing off of Chris Pratt, Chris Hemsworth, and Channing Tatum.
Tom Holland? I'm just kidding.
I don't
Well,
know.
I want to ask you real quick, Christiane, since we have you here. How do you feel about this female Ghostbusters movie?
Well, at first I was really nervous because I feel like Melissa McCarthy is just constantly doing a Chris Farley bit.
Oh,
her just screaming, constantly falling down. So
Very true.
when I watched Spy, I went in like thinking, oh, I'm going to count how many times she falls over in this movie. And she only fell over once on that stupid scooter. So I'm actually pretty excited now. I really, really enjoyed Spy. I love Kristen Wiig. Leslie, not so much. I could do without.
I'm not really familiar with the other two.
Kate McKinnon
honestly.
is
Kate
the
McKinnon.
secret. 'Cause I
enjoy
adore her
her.
on Saturday Night Live.
Me
Oh,
too.
Leslie Jones
I-
was in top 5.
She was
right?
also in
So-
Trainwreck.
yeah.
She was a screaming lady on the
Oh,
subway in
yeah, you're
Trainwreck.
right.
She's in
You're
Saturday Night
She's
Live.
all-
as well.
I thought she was
she's a-
funny in top 5, but not in Trainwreck.
She's
She-
always
she's
just
a-
a screaming mad lady. That's
Yeah,
all
she's
she is.
ve-
She has
Hopefully that's
one
not her
character.
role in this movie.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
just one character over and over again. But Chris Pratt, I don't think that he would sign on for any kind of universe. He's
Really?
already in Marvel, Jurassic
That's what I
universe.
wrote in
A
that.
third
That's very
universe
true.
might be a lot for him. I mean, he has a family. That's just a lot to sign on
The
Well,
Lego
for.
movies,
especially
Guardians of
so
the
he's in Marvel.
Yeah.
Like that's a big deal.
And with the success
He's
of
now
Jurassic,
leading the new Jurassic World.
Yeah, definitely.
If it's going to be anything, I think it's going to be a one movie Channing Tatum, Chris Pratt team up, and
yeah,
that's
I
it,
think
maybe.
they'd be done.
And maybe
I don't-
one every 3 or 4 years where they do it, but it
No,
not
I
going to
don't
be.
see him being attached to this at all
Yeah.
after the success of Jurassic World. He has no need to be attached
And now
to this.
Channing Tatum is
well, he's
doing
the leads
movies.
of those two franchises. What if he's like the third lead in the movie and he just
don't-
pops up every now and then?
I don't know if you
in the
put
films?
Chris Pratt in that role anymore. That's what he used to be, but now it's like he's the leading man in
Yeah, but
everything.
he doesn't have to lead every movie. He can take a back seat.
Well, I
every
mean,
once in a
It's
while.
true.
if
It's
you
true.
have him in your movie, you kind of want.
He's going to be the
Well,
scene stealer no matter what.
So
Well, like look at Avengers. You know, Chris Hemsworth is the third or fourth lead in those movies, so it can be something similar like that.
Yeah, it's true.
You know?
yeah. All right. Well, we're gonna move on. Next up, back in April last year, end of April, there was a rumor going around that Bryan Singer's X-Men universe that he started in the year 2000 with the first X-Men movie will finally be ending after X-Men Apocalypse and Wolverine 3. So since then, we've learned that Bryan Singer is in fact returning to do more X-Men movies after X-Men Apocalypse. He's going to do 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, right?
Well, we actually don't know. He said he kind of teased the fact that, he said like I'm not done with the X-Men franchise, but I feel like almost after X-Men Apocalypse, like it'd be the perfect send off.
Right.
Because X-Men Apocalypse is almost in a way going to reboot the franchise because the younger characters are going to take over.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, he teased that he'll be back, but at the same time, I wouldn't mind seeing someone else step into the franchise. Whether that's, I don't know who, who knows, but at the same time, X-Men wouldn't be alive without Bryan Singer. And the
It would
only
not be
good
what it
X-Men
is.
movies are coming from Bryan Singer.
We've seen X-Men without Bryan Singer.
Yeah,
and
so,
it's not good.
X-Men First Class, Matthew Vaughn.
amazing.
No, that's
Well,
true.
are you
Okay, that's
kidding
true.
me?
That's my bad.
That's the
One
one
of my
I forgot about
all-time
that.
favorites.
And
Are you
it's-
kidding
I
me?
love it. Yeah.
And that's true because
It does well without him.
that's very true. First Class is an amazing film, and maybe Matthew Vaughn takes over after Bryan Singer.
I hope he comes back and directs
Like, I think that would be great.
the
Yeah.
next one after
I
Apocalypse.
think he should do New Mutants because he kicked off a new X-Men trilogy in the right way. Why not
Yeah,
kick
I
off
think
another
kicking
one?
off First Class was amazing.
Yeah,
I think he
so-
could take over Bryan Singer. But I
I'm
don't know
trying to
if he will.
find the original tweet of what he said because I know he's announced that he was directing 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, and then in that tweet he said, "But don't worry, I'm coming back to the X-Men universe." I don't know if that was word for word, but it was something like that. And I don't think he's done directing X-Men films. I think that he's going to oversee everything. I think he's going to be, and he almost already is, the Kevin Feige of the X-Men Marvel universe. And I think it would be smart for him to oversee everything going forward, not necessarily directing, but what if he's overseeing it, like he oversees the universe going forward, and then he directs like the third movie of the next trilogy because it's such a big scale. I could see something like that, definitely.
Yeah.
So Bryan Singer, he said he posted a picture on Instagram about the 20 Leagues Under the Sea script, and he said, "A story I've wanted to retell since childhood. I promise this will be an epic and emotional adventure for all ages, an adventure very dear to my heart. Not abandoning the X-Men universe. Very excited about X-Men Apocalypse and beyond."
Okay.
So maybe he stays on as the Kevin Feige type, or
I
maybe he
think
does
so.
direct. So
yeah, I think it'll be both.
yeah,
honestly.
I wouldn't mind. I would love to see him come back because obviously his X-Men movies are the best of the franchise. But at the same time, like Christiane said, I think Matthew Vaughn would be a great choice to hand it off to.
Or someone new.
Because I mean, at the moment, he's only doing movies that are kind of kicking off franchises. Like we don't know if he'll be back for Kingsman 2.
Yes, he will be.
We think he'll be.
The success of Kingsman.
We think he will be. He will be, but at the point, he doesn't have a franchise.
Like you say, you're worried about X-Men without Bryan Singer or Matthew Vaughn. What if they announced Alex Garland was directing the next X-Men movie?
Well, then I would be excited because Ex Machina is one of my favorite films this year.
I feel like he would do very well with that, dealing with this type of stuff in Ex Machina and then like the mutants.
I have no doubt that the X-Men franchise can thrive without him, but at this point, without Singer or Vaughn, it's been a failure.
You want him involved.
Yeah,
definitely.
so.
Well, I think we can all agree that the day Bryan Singer leaves, we'll all be sad.
Definitely.
Part of our childhood has left. So moving on, let's fast forward to 2 months. August of last year, there was a rumor that Angelina Jolie could direct Captain Marvel with Charlize Theron starring as Carol Danvers. We haven't heard anything about Captain Marvel at all. And, well, understandably so, the movie still comes out in, 3 years? 2019?
2019,
it got pushed.
yeah.
So that's still a while. It's still possible that Angelina Jolie could direct Captain Marvel. The rumor states that she would only do it if Charlize Theron was in a starring role. So considering what we've seen from Jolie as a director and what we've seen from Charlize Theron over the last couple of years, how do you guys feel about this? Do you like the combination? Do you think there's something better out there? What do you personally want to see?
I was not impressed with Jolie's directing in Unbroken. I don't know if you guys saw By the Sea. Did anyone see it?
I haven't seen
I
it.
haven't seen it. How is it?
I saw like a bootleg version of it. Not bootleg, but I watched it online rather than in a theater, and it was terrible.
Well, I haven't heard anything about it,
It was
so obviously.
terrible.
Well, it bombed on the box
It was
office.
Exactly.
terrible. Unbroken, I wasn't really impressed with her directing either. I mean, besides the cinematography of it, it wasn't anything special. I mean, the story was special, but
Well, it's a true story.
Yeah.
Unbroken, the issue with it was Jolie's direction.
exactly.
Yeah, that's what everyone's
And
That
it
was
was
her
so
problem.
long.
Yeah.
Every scene was so long and so drawn out. And I can't imagine her doing a superhero movie ever because she
Especially a character like Captain Marvel, because the character is so near and dear to so many fans' hearts.
And it's the first Marvel female-led
It's
superhero.
important.
Yes.
So it's very important. I don't want her anywhere near it.
I don't want her
honestly.
near it
No, neither
either.
do I.
Okay, so we can all agree on that.
And the fact that Charlize Theron, like maybe as Captain Marvel, I would love to see
Oh,
it. Like
I would
she
be-
kicks ass,
dude.
But I think, and it's nothing against her because she looks beautiful, but I think she's just too old for the role.
Exactly. And no
And-
offense at all. It's just
I think it's in the hands of Emily Blunt and maybe a few others at this point.
Oh, I would love
but
Emily.
I think Emily Blunt
She'd be
has the role
perfect.
locked
Yeah.
right now.
Rebecca
maybe
Ferguson?
Maybe there's a name. I feel like Ivani Strahovski, who was in Chuck. She was in a few other movies, but a lot of people have her on the list as well because she fits the role. But I think Emily Blunt has a lockdown personally.
yeah.
So.
I would be so happy if Emily Blunt got it. But my first choice, I've told you guys this before, but it's Brie Larson. I think she would do great, and she's 24. She can play the character. She'll fit in with a young Spider-Man, and we know she's getting in shape for Kong Skull Island. So you never know. I think she would be a great choice.
I feel like I totally don't disagree with that. But after Room, I feel like Brie Larson's going to take a whole
More
nother.
dramatic, but why not do something different?
No, I agree with
She's
you.
probably going to win the Oscar this year.
Oh, most likely.
And she's going to be huge. Look at Eddie Redmayne after winning Oscar, starring in the Harry Potter film, still doing Oscar-worthy work. And, McConaughey,
And Razzie-worthy
Yeah.
work.
Oh.
Jupiter.
that's not fair. Dude, I'm
Dude,
pretty
he's
sure
going to
he-
win the Razzie.
I'm pretty sure he filmed that movie before he won the Oscar.
Well, yeah, Jupiter Ascending was pushed back how many times?
Yeah, it's pushed back a while.
So
Pretty bad.
that was way before. I don't think he ever would have done that role. if
Still
he had a
nominated for the
success.
Razzie, dude.
But anyways,
Well-
Who would sign on to anything with Wachowski?
I don't know.
There's a couple contenders for Captain Marvel. A lot of us are really pushing for Emily Blunt. One director I would love to see, I know it's not going to happen, but I would love to see take on Captain Marvel. She directed The Hurt Locker, Point Break.
Catherine Bigelow.
That would
That would be
love
amazing.
to see
That
her.
would be crazy.
Oh my
That
God.
would be crazy, but then again, we know how Marvel is. They're very strict about their budgets and whatnot. So
Yeah, I have a list I made a while ago for
she on that
potential.
list?
No, well, cast for actual character to play the character.
Yeah.
Emily Blunt was number one. Ivani Strahovski was number two. Catherine Winnick, she's in the show Vikings right now.
I don't know who she is.
Smaller name.
No idea.
Amber Heard's now out of the list because she's going to be Mira for DC. I threw Emilia Clarke from Terminator and Jessica Chastain in there as well.
Jessica Chastain, I think, looks older than Charlize.
Oh, well, Charlize is 39. I think she's 37.
It's about the same age, but yeah. So those are potential ones.
Either of
Rebecca
those
Ferguson
names
is
I'd be
being thrown in
happy
there. There's the girl from Riddick.
Oh yeah.
Forget her name.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Katie
what you're
Sackhoff?
talking-
Katie
yeah,
Sackhoff
exactly.
has always been
She
mentioned.
looks a lot like.
Always
Captain
been mentioned.
Marvel.
So there's definitely a lot of choices.
Well, it
but
really depends. Do they want to go old or do they want to go young?
I think they're going to go
mid
mid-range because she'll be a
you
major
want her
part
to
of the
be
new
around
Avengers.
for a while.
Exactly.
It's going to be her, Spider-Man, Black Panther.
And she's
Doctor
kind of a
Strange.
character. She ties Avengers and Guardians because
Oh,
her powers come from the galactic side,
Is it from the Kree or
from the Kree.
Yeah.
But
Captain
she's
Marvel.
yeah,
She
but
gets
she
her powers
is
from him, yeah.
she's Earthbound, so
That's
she kind of
awesome.
teeters between the both of them.
Dude, I would love if she's in Guardians of the Galaxy too. I doubt it, but
James Gunn
love
has already
that.
confirmed that she's
That she's
not.
not?
I think the first movie
Oh,
we'll
wow.
see her in is Infinity War Part 1.
maybe after credit scene. Never
That is a
know.
possibility.
Yeah.
Possibility.
Well, that rumor actually came out in June. So we're going to fast forward 2 weeks to middle of June. There was a rumor for Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice.
Woo!
Yeah. All right.
The
So
best movie of 2016.
Oh god.
So we know that several superheroes will be making at least a cameo. Nothing new. Zack Snyder has gone out and said this. This is not a spoiler. So this rumor involves Flash and Aquaman's cameo. Nothing new. However, the rumor states that there's a scene where Bruce Wayne breaks into LexCorp and hacks into the surveillance system. From there, he sees footage of the Flash stopping a bank robbery, and he sees Aquaman imprisoned in a chamber at LexCorp. So, this is just a rumor. Take it with a grain of salt. How do you guys feel about, Flash and Aquaman having these kind of cameos?
These
Like-
specific cameos?
Like, does it take away? Would it take away from the film? How do you feel about it? How the hell does Aquaman get captured? I don't know how that happens. So you guys,
So start with the
Coming to
Flash
that.
one.
Yeah.
That would almost be a Doctor Strange type drop. Instead of just dropping the name, it's him speeding around. But it'd be a really quick scene. They wouldn't he would just see it and they would move on.
it would be like a moment, yeah.
Yeah. I don't believe that. Like, it's possible, but you and I read something the other day.
Yeah.
And I feel like the rumor we read is a lot more viable than this rumor. As for the Aquaman one, I don't believe this rumor at all.
Yeah.
I don't think he's captured. I don't think that's possible, really. Again, going back to the same rumor with the Flash, they said something within that article that has me believing that he's going to make this type of cameo in this movie a lot more than what this rumor says. They're going to show up. They've already been confirmed to show up. Whether Flash shows up as Barry Allen on a crime scene as a forensic scientist or in the full costume as Flash, that's to be determined. But I think we're going to see Aquaman because, if I'm right, it's been confirmed that him and Wonder Woman are cousins, correct?
Same.
Isn't it confirmed that
Amazonian,
Wonder Woman
blood
is Zeus's
heritage.
daughter? I feel like.
I don't know if that's confirmed,
I-
but I think the idea is that they both come from the Greek gods.
Okay, so
Yeah.
there's
And I
possibly there's family lineage
Poseidon
there.
and Zeus.
So I feel like maybe
That would make sense.
I feel like maybe Wonder Woman makes some kind of cameo with Aquaman at some point.
Jacob?
Or yeah, so
I mean, I don't know about these specific scenes, but I like how small the cameos would be if this is true.
Right.
Like, I don't want them to have a huge impact on this movie. I really don't. A very small cameo like that would be perfect, I think. I think the Flash one would make sense because who did you say was watching it on video?
Batman.
Bruce Wayne.
Okay, that would make sense because that lets Bruce Wayne know that there's a speedster out there.
Oh,
you
dude, I
know?
think he already knows.
Yeah, maybe he does. He's the best detective
I
in
think
the world.
because
so
if they follow the
maybe he
comics,
already knows.
if they follow the New 52 comics, he has profiles on every
Hey,
single
I bet you
everyone.
that's the way, and maybe that's the way the Justice League comes together. Yeah, there's no way. I mean, maybe with technology and money and power, there's
I don't
no
know
way
how
Lex
you-
is locking
I
up
don't know how you-
Aquaman.
No.
There's no way.
And at the same time, I feel like at this point in time, nobody knows about Aquaman.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
I feel like he'd be undersea this entire time.
It's like-
like kind of just like dealing with the Atlantis stuff. Like where else would he have popped up?
Maybe they fished him out of the
How
ocean.
awesome
I don't
would
know.
it be? This is just
Nope.
a little
Like,
going
I
off
got
subject,
something.
but how awesome would it be if, like, somehow Lex convinced Aquaman like to be on his side and that Superman's a threat and sent him after him. I think they should have done that instead of
Here's the
Doomsday.
thing.
One of the rumor.
That would have been amazing.
Aquaman can easily be Superman.
I don't know about easily.
Well,
honestly,
I was gonna say Aquaman has a reason to be pissed off because in Man
Well-
of Steel, that machine destroyed the oceans.
I think that's the way he's gonna make a cameo. The world engine from Man of Steel messed up the oceans in the Indian Ocean, and Aquaman's gonna come for blood.
I don't think Aquaman can easily defeat Superman.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, this Aquaman.
Dude, there's a reason why Superman is arguably
Superman.
the most
If it-
powerful being in the DC universe.
If
I
it
mean,
were-
that's said all the time.
If it were the blonde, orange, and green Aquaman traditional guy, I'd say no. But
Hey,
this
no,
is
that-
this
don't
is
tell me about
Jason
it.
Momoa.
this is Jason
that has
Momoa.
nothing
talking.
to do with
So,
the power
Gio,
of Aquaman.
I'm telling you,
the way
man.
he
I'm
looks.
kidding.
It doesn't-
Gio,
I'm just
I'm
saying.
the
kidding.
blonde,
I'm
orange, and green
kidding.
suit.
God.
The blonde, orange, and green suit Aquaman from New 52
Attack.
is
He's a badass.
He's a complete badass, man.
I am-
Hey, you made the comment, man. I'm just,
Jeez.
The look has nothing to do with it.
no, not at all. But
Yeah.
Jason Momoa, yes.
Remember,
I mean, look
love
at him.
Man of Steel here. Okay. God.
I mean, how
Let's
much
move-
are they going to shove into this movie, though?
Yeah,
That's
That's-
what I'm worried about.
How much are they going to shove into Batman?
Well,
v
it's a
Superman?
2.5-hour movie. They can do.
but that doesn't matter. It's now, like we've talked about, it's now Dawn of Justice. It's
don't
no
need to-
longer Batman vs Superman.
You don't need to launch a whole cinematic universe by shoving every
That's what
character you
they're
can
doing.
into one movie.
I mean, it's weird because on one side, like, look at a movie like X-Men Days of Future Past. How many characters are in that film? How many superheroes? Literally, like, 50 at least. So
but none
But
of them
that's-
are as, like...
I know it's different.
Yeah.
I know it's very
Way
different.
different.
But you can make it happen if there's very small cameos and those cameos fit into the story and they're not, dwelled on. They just, introduce it, they're cameoed, and then it moves on, focuses on Batman and Superman. So,
I wouldn't mind the Flash with Barry Allen.
yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah.
I think a Barry Allen cameo...
A Barry Allen cameo.
Rather than a Flash.
We already know for sure, I'm pretty sure we're for sure getting Cyborg.
No,
Yeah,
yes, we
yeah.
are.
And
We
we're
are.
for sure getting Aquaman.
Yes.
And I don't think Flash has been 100% confirmed, right?
Ezra Miller
I think
has
it's, I
been.
think it's
Is
been
he?
confirmed.
Yeah.
Ezra Miller will make an appearance. We don't
Who
know.
And
knows?
someone
They
else.
could pull Marvel and just do a
Yeah.
huge post-credit scene with everybody.
That's what I think is going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you think DC's going to go the route of post-credit scene?
Maybe not to separate themselves from Marvel, but I think it would be stupid not to. I think it's a part of comic book.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a
I
route
think
that you
it's-
have to go now
yeah.
with comic books.
I
If,
think
if
so.
you're setting up a whole universe, I feel like it
And
has
it's
to
a
be done.
good way to introduce characters that people don't know much about. I
Well,
think.
remember, Suicide Squad comes out like 5 months later, so that's their next DC film, another team up.
That would be awesome.
But I agree, Jacob. Aquaman sucks.
What?
Okay.
Aquaman's awesome.
Dude, you guys are... Oh,
I love Aquaman.
Okay, so let's fast
I love
forward.
Aquaman.
Let's move on. So the following week, in June, this was right before Comic-Con. I don't know if you guys remember last year, but Tyrese was making this
Oh, we
social
remember.
media
We remember.
blitz about wanting to be Green Lantern. I remember last year Comic-Con we were all talking about what's DC gonna announce. We're gonna hear about the Green Lantern casting, Chris Pine, Tyrese Gibson. It's gonna happen. No, as of right now, Chris Pine has been downgraded to a love interest of.
Well, okay, not downgraded because Steve Trevor is actually a total badass.
Well,
first of all,
I mean-
and Chris Pine actually did just confirm that he Warner Brothers never came to him about Green Lantern. He's never talked about Green Lantern, so he was always up for the role of Steve Trevor. But
what do you feel about Tyrese?
I actually wouldn't mind it. Problem is Tyrese doesn't fit a Jon Stewart type. Jon Stewart's a very
He's a very Idris Elba type guy.
hardened military
Well, he's kind of
dude.
like John Diggle on Arrow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I don't have a doubt that Tyrese can play the role, but from what we've seen from him, he just doesn't fit it. Like, and again, I can't criticize it because I haven't seen him play the character. We
Yeah.
don't know. But going off of this, he just doesn't fit the role. I would rather see an unknown actor or someone like an Idris Elba, but that'll never happen.
Never happened.
But I just feel like a younger unknown actor would be really cool because the Jon Stewart has to be a little bit younger than Hal Jordan because he comes after Hal Jordan.
Yeah.
So, but as for Tyrese, I mean, I wouldn't mind it. It's just he doesn't fit it. I just don't think he fits the role. I love his campaign for it though. I think his campaign is awesome.
Yeah.
I think that he would be all right in the role. It depends. If it's just a Jon Stewart, one Green Lantern movie, then no. But if it's a Green Lantern Corps
Well, that's
movie
what it is.
with Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart, and maybe
There's actually 4 of them.
well,
Hal Jordan, Jon Stewart,
Guy Gardner, right?
Gardner, and Kyle Rayner.
Yeah. So obviously Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart are the most well-known names, right? So
Yes.
what if it's like a passing of the torch movie like Ant-Man was? What if it's something like that? What if you have an older Green Lantern, a little bit older, passing it on to a younger Jon Stewart, and they fight together in the first movie, and then as it goes on, Jon Stewart is the character in the Justice League going forward. I know Michael B. Jordan is probably doesn't want to go anywhere near a superhero movie, but I could totally see him as a young Jon Stewart. Honestly, I think that would be incredible.
No, that's definitely a good choice.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think Tyrese Gibson ruined his chance of playing Green Lantern with his campaign. Honestly, so,
Really?
Yeah, and it's funny looking back at it because, it's weird. I wonder if he's ever actually met with them.
Oh,
Probably not.
Well, he says in his interview with Entertainment Weekly, I included that he did meet with Warner Brothers,
Yeah.
but that's all he said.
He's probably included in about a dozen actors though,
Right,
that maybe
yeah.
possibly.
It's Tyrese. He's the guy from Fast and Furious. He's in
Yeah.
these franchises. Let's talk to him.
I think that he just saw the success of Vin Diesel's campaign to get into the Marvel universe, and
That's
he's just
true.
like, I'm gonna throw myself out
That's
there.
very
I'm gonna
true.
do that.
Yeah.
And I mean, look at the success that Vin Diesel has had as Groot.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, that
Good point.
definitely
Good
makes
point.
sense. And
he
they're
probably just saw
friends,
that, and they're friends. They're
Yeah.
both from the Fast and Furious world, and
Yeah,
he's
it's
just
very
like,
different
he
though. I
can
feel
do
like
that. I can do that.
it's gonna sound weird, but I feel like Vin Diesel's were more subtle in a way.
Oh,
I don't know if that makes sense.
Like
but,
he posted stuff, and he always said that he was interested in it,
yeah.
but
and his are
Yeah.
more realistic.
and he was willing to take a role that wasn't like.
well, he got an intro role from Groot, and now he's going to become something else in Inhumans.
Yeah, and even isn't that character that he's supposed to play Black Bolt, right? Or no, what is the
Well,
character?
Black Bolt works, and he's
and
likely
isn't
she's
he
like
badass.
the leader of the Inhumans?
He's the king. When he speaks, he is the most powerful character in the whole galaxy.
Because
when he speaks,
he can destroy a whole planet or
Basically,
something, right?
yeah.
So that he doesn't talk.
Yeah.
That'd be very interesting because Groot, he does the voice for Groot, and then he'd play a character that doesn't talk at all. So.
and to see him maybe on the same scene together,
Yeah,
that'd be
but-
kind of cool.
Oh, that would be awesome.
But the way Tyrese Gibson did it, he freaking blew it all out. He didn't care. He put himself all out there when he's not even really involved. Maybe he met with them once. The difference is Vin Diesel's already involved with Marvel. He's
Yeah.
already been in a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
He has a good working relationship with them. Tyrese Gibson does not have that with Warner Bros. And DC. So
And to post the fan art was I feel like a really big statement
yeah.
to post himself as Green Lantern and then say, "Hey, it's the fans' fault. It's not my fault. They're the
Well,
ones that put
it's
me
almost
out there."
Well, I mean,
desperate in a way.
I mean, you can never fault a guy for wanting to put himself out there.
Oh,
He
no,
probably
not at
probably
all.
realizes that he has a longer shot of getting the role, but it doesn't hurt. He does have star power.
I'd
I think
actually
it comes
be-
off as desperate. You're
Yeah,
gonna
it
post
does. It
fan
really
art of
does.
yourself.
But I'd actually be cool with it if the Hal Jordan character is somebody, more serious, Then, I mean, that's kind of weird because
but that's not how Hal
I know
Jordan
that's
is.
weird because you think Tyrese Gibson would be a better Hal Jordan in a way. Not obviously Hal Jordan's white, he's black, it doesn't matter. But his personality would be more of a Hal Jordan, and then. But who knows? They could do whatever they want. They could change the characters if they want. So.
Well, this movie's 4 years away, so we're far from finding
Well,
out
hopefully,
anything.
hopefully, Green Lantern's in one of the Justice League movies.
I've
we read something.
well,
the
okay.
other day.
I'll say this: it's just a rumor. It's nowhere near
I really
confirmed.
don't care. You guys
Take
can
it-
talk about
take it
that
with the
article.
grain
Yeah,
of
this
salt.
rumor says that an actor named Dan Amboyer is Green Lantern, and he appears in Dawn of Justice.
Really?
Yes,
That would be amazing.
Who is that actor?
I can't show you the picture, but it's him. He's
That's
an
him?
unknown guy. Yes, says that
I'm
he
cool with
appears,
that.
and apparently the rumor also says that the Justice League forms for a battle in the third act.
Oh my goodness! All right.
Wow. Okay, well, we'll talk about that later in the coming weeks. Moving on, we're gonna move forward 2 months to August, where a big rumor was dropped by a guy who me, Jake, and Jacob follow. John Schnepp, he broke this scoop that George Miller is in fact directing Man of Steel 2. He's had a close relationship with Warner Brothers. They were supposed to do that Justice League movie of America.
That was like 10 years ago, yeah.
About 10 years ago. But Warner Brothers really loved what he did with Mad Max Fury Road. And so since then, we haven't heard anything. Miller has obviously denied it, as anyone who would be directing a future comic movie would. We've seen Ryan Coogler do that with Black Panther. So I want to ask you guys, is it still possible? Do you want to see it? Not Mad Max. George Miller direct Man of Steel 2. What do you think?
I would love to see Superman in the hands of someone that is not Zack Snyder, first of all. Second of all, I would love to see George Miller. Mad Max Fury Road was one of my top 5 of 2015, hands down.
Mm-hmm.
But realistically, he's old. He's real old.
Very true.
He is.
Well, he's almost 80, so
he's pushing it.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Like, who knows if he can take on a big responsibility of directing a movie like that.
George Miller is 70 years old. He
Really?
is young.
That is old.
He has,
Have you seen him?
He has two. If Clint Eastwood's directing American Sniper at 82 years
It really
But he's
depends
Clint
how
Eastwood.
soon
That's
are they
a
going to
whole
make Man of Steel 2.
Yes.
That's what it really depends on. If they
And-
get into production like next year, they can do it. But
Well-
if they're going to wait 5 years, no way.
He already said that Mad Max was so hard on him, but they did film in the desert, and
That's a
Yeah, so
I mean,
let's
that's a
let's-
nonstop action.
So
scene.
this,
Exactly.
so that's
so
different.
you think about, so he just confirmed a few days ago that he's no longer going to direct Mad Max movies. He said that he's done with the Mad Max franchise. He's going to hand it off to someone else.
he made his masterpiece. He should be done.
Exactly. And he made the movie he always wanted to make.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that that movie took place in a desert for so long with the rigs and the kind of toll it takes on someone of that age, although it's a Superman movie, a superhero, it's not as big as Mad Max. That is almost all of its practical effects with the vehicles and the
Yes.
shots and the explosions compared to something like Superman, where a lot of it is done in post-credit or
green
post-production.
screen, baby.
Yeah.
And
and like, you know, at least a third of the movie can just be them like in the office at the
Exactly.
Daily Bugle talking, or
And-
him talking to his mom at her house. It's not going to be straight action all the
exactly,
way
and
through, like
he
Mad
said that he
Max.
wants to, for this next movie, he wants to step back, do something smaller. I feel like Man of Steel 2, first of all, I believe it. I think he's going to direct it. But I feel like Man of Steel 2 would be the perfect send-off as the final big budget movie that he's going to do, because he's always wanted to do a superhero movie.
Mm-hmm.
He was going to do Justice League, but that ended up not happening. It just fits. It works. He has the in at Warner Brothers. If he wants to go off after Man of Steel 2, I think it's the perfect movie to go off by. So I think it's going to happen. I think he's the perfect choice for it. Like Christiane said, I think it's time for Zack Snyder to step away from it at that point after doing Justice League and everything. So yeah, I'm all in for George Miller doing Man of Steel 2.
Jacob, you
Oh
for
yeah,
this?
definitely. Yeah, I would totally be down for it. Like, we're gonna always talk about this, but you know, I really like Mad Max, but it's not in my top 10 of the year. I think it's a really good film, but you know, one thing that was genius about it is the direction. The direction is the best part. That's why I told you guys from the beginning. I think George Miller should have been nominated for Best Director, which he was, and I would totally understand if Mad Max Fury Road is nominated for Best Picture, which it was. So I'm
Winner, chicken dinner.
Of course I would. I'd be so excited if he's directing Man of Steel 2, but it has to go into production in the next 2 years. If not, then I don't know.
I think it's so. Dawn of Justice this year. When is Justice League 2017?
Yes.
Well, they said when they did their big announcement, they said, all right, all of these movies and standalone Batman and Superman movies are going to be all in between all of these films.
So is Justice League Justice League is 2017, correct?
2017,
When is part 2?
2019.
So Man of Steel 2 guarantees
Oh,
2018. It's going to be between the two Justice League movies. That's perfect.
Otherwise,
timing.
it's because Man of Steel was 2013.
Yeah,
so
no, it's 5
yeah.
it's 5 years difference.
That
They
has
have to
to
do
be,
it.
yeah.
I think it's 2018 is perfect. It gets the ball going for George Miller right now. If he does that small movie now and then takes a year to do Man of Steel 2, it lines up perfectly.
Who thinks that they're going to make the announcement at this year's Comic-Con?
I think it'll be before the Comic Con.
Well, okay. All right.
I think they'll announce it before Comic Con.
All right. Cool. Let's move on. So we have a Star Wars rumor.
Woo!
You know what I noticed? There wasn't a lot of the rumors about Star Wars: The Force Awakens. That's how tight.
Because Star Wars is above
Close.
rumors, dude.
I don't think anybody wanted to
above
know.
it. They're
Nobody
above it
wanted
all.
to
Well,
know.
there wasn't any official rumors, but there was a ton of speculation.
Yeah,
I
no,
mean, speculation.
Yeah, no, there
but
was. There
Heroic
definitely
Hollywood
was.
wasn't.
But yes,
dropping
like
no
you
scoop or
said,
something.
Star Wars, it's tight knit. Everybody knows that they believe in it and they want to keep it a secret.
Yeah.
Like it's just that important.
Well, back in September, there was a rumor that kind of shook the Star Wars fan base. The rumor was that Hayden Christensen would be reprising his role as Anakin Skywalker in Episode 8. It stated that Christensen has been training and getting back into Jedi shape for a potential role in Episode 8. So he still hasn't been confirmed for Episode 8. I don't think they're even going to confirm it. Maybe at Comic-Con or something like that, or Star Wars Celebration maybe. I mean, I don't know. That would be funny. Like, Star Wars Celebration, you're there to celebrate Star Wars, and then you see Hayden Christensen come on stage.
And then everyone starts booing.
Yeah, they would, definitely.
You gotta give the guy a little break, though. I mean,
No, I do. I'm just, But, so what do you guys think? We've heard the rumors that he was almost in The Force Awakens.
And
That's
we've
the
seen the
Force Ghost.
concept art for it now.
the concept art was badass.
So they
This is
definitely
good
were
stuff.
considering, I mean, he's going to be in Episode 8. I mean,
I
does
think-
anyone feel different?
I think this. I don't think it would be true unless. I think it's true because Rian Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
Looper, it's a time travel movie. He knows what he's doing with like different times and stuff. I think Rian Johnson is going to handle flashbacks like crazy, whether that's Clone Wars or something from the original trilogy with Luke possibly being guided by the Force Ghost or something like that. I think we'll see him reprise his role, whether it's that concept art we saw where he's half Anakin, half Vader.
That's a good
Which
that's
is
a
really
badass.
cool because he's still battling the dark side.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we will see him return. And, yes, the prequels were terrible. His performance was very wooden, gets a lot of crap. But he was a very young actor who stepped into a big movie for the first time.
With a shitty director.
A director
Well-
who isn't the best at performances. He's not a character. He's not an actor's director like J.J. Abrams is or Rian Johnson is. So, I mean, maybe the best is yet to come for Hayden Christensen. I wouldn't mind seeing. I think he'll be in Rogue One as Darth Vader.
Yeah.
I think he'll be there. So it's a cool way to bring him back in the fold, whether it's a Force Ghost, a flashback, or whatever it is. But I think he'll be back just because of Rian Johnson. So, and because he handles that stuff well.
Jacob, what do you think, man?
I think that people need to stop hating on Hayden Christensen. Honestly, there's no reason to, but people are gonna do it. People are ignorant and they don't pay attention to like who direct. I mean, everyone knows George Lucas directed those movies, but they don't understand that George Lucas is not an actor's director. A lot of people don't know that and stuff. They're not involved in the film world like we are. So I gotta cut them some slack because all they know is what they saw on screen.
All they know is Star Wars is everything, and they don't want it ruined.
That's
And
all they
Transformers are good movies.
But you gotta, disregard the prequels for a minute. We haven't really seen Hayden Christensen work outside of the prequels. I mean, he did a few movies, Jumper, like stuff like that. But
I actually read a few weeks ago. He did an interview with Yahoo. He had said that all the backlash from Star Wars, like he did movies after Star Wars,
Yeah.
Step back from acting.
but he said it ruined his acting career. Like it ruined his experience, so he had to step back.
Definitely.
He took a 5-year break
it
or
made
something.
him not want to act anymore.
Exactly.
well, I know he was just in like a religious movie like earlier this year.
And I guess he was really good
That's
at it.
what I heard.
Yeah.
that
He was in
good.
Taken. Remember
Was
that
he?
movie?
Takers, yeah, with
Okay.
Idris Elba and Paul Walker.
He was in
Taken.
Chris
No,
Brown.
what?
Chris
Yeah.
Brown.
Yeah, Chris Brown,
Yeah.
Idris Elba, Paul Walker.
I forgot
yeah.
about that movie.
Yeah.
Wow.
Look.
Great throwback.
If I had to put money on it, I don't think he's gonna be in episode 8.
I don't think so either.
But I want him to.
Yeah.
This is how I imagine episode 8 starting. So you guys know, I forget which Lord of the Rings film it is. It might be the very first one. It starts off with a
Two
flashback
towers.
battle.
No, it's
right?
Two Towers.
It's Towers? Okay.
Yeah.
I think episode 8 can start with a battle like with Vader and the Emperor going into battle like Lords of the Sith. Have you read Lords of the Sith,
Yeah.
Jake? You have?
Yeah.
So aren't they like going into battle in that?
Yeah,
in that book?
they go straight ham
Yeah.
on planet, man.
I want to see a flashback of them just taking out a whole army by themselves. And I think that would be an amazing way to bring Hayden Christensen in and have a flashback, and directed by Rian Johnson would be incredible.
Well, yeah, Rian Johnson knows
So-
time travel stuff.
It can
different
be,
times.
Yeah.
You know, they can say like, oh, 30 years ago or 25 years ago, and then show a flashback scene with them in battle, and I think that would be amazing.
I don't throw that away because Rian Johnson is going to give us probably the darkest Star Wars we've ever seen.
And I
down.
think
Yeah.
the
Dark,
reason,
like straight dark.
I think the reason, you know, you don't just throw a flashback like that in for no reason. I think it's going to connect to Snoke somehow. That would be the reason for it. So
That, or maybe Luke is just letting Rey know, like, possibly her family lineage, or like what happened
or
in the
how
past.
powerful, just telling her how powerful Vader and the Emperor were.
And like how powerful Kylo Ren's trying to be and who he's
Yeah.
guided by and stuff like
Yeah.
that. I mean, there's, but that the starting with the flashback, I think we talked about this beforehand, but it's either going to start on that island again or possibly a flashback.
Well, I think
scene.
it could start as a flashback and then jump to
Maybe
the
Luke is
island.
narrating it to
Yeah.
Rey or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, that would be incredible.
I think we all think bad things are gonna happen next movie.
Well, it's
Oh,
going to be
yeah.
dark.
Yeah.
Stuff's going to go down. Someone's possibly going to die. It's just
It's gonna be nothing we expect. I
Yeah,
think that they're just throwing us a giant loop in Force Awakens.
Just don't
like-
kill Luke, all right?
I don't.
Not in this movie.
I
I
don't
think it's
know.
episode
Not in
9.
this
I think,
movie.
no, I don't
think
think
it'd
you
be
can.
so cheesy if Han dies in the first movie.
Yeah,
and
I don't
then
think you
Luke
can
dies
kill
in the
major,
second
major
movie.
characters like that from back-to-back movies. You have to give them some kind of.
I think
time.
he goes
They
down.
gotta get rid of Leia, man. Carrie Fisher
No,
is just.
I don't think. I think Leia's gonna be around.
She's gotta go.
Yeah,
she has
she's
got to
not-
go.
Oh, her acting-wise, yes, but now she has a year and a half to get that back
Exactly.
on track.
And she's working with, I mean, nothing against J.J. Abrams, but she's working with Rian Johnson, who
Well, she's gonna have more
is
screen time in this movie.
arguably a better director.
Don't you
Rian
badmouth
Johnson.
JJ ever.
I love J.J. Abrams, man.
J.J. Abrams is the man.
I gave him my overall MVP for
I'm with you.
2015.
yeah, Super 8. I don't know about that.
Oh
Come
god.
All right,
Excuse
so
me?
all right.
Well, now we know you're a huge J.J. Abrams fan.
All right, last rumor for 2015. This one came out in November, right before Thanksgiving. This one was ugly. So, Heroic Hollywood, a site that I follow and where I get a lot of my rumors from, they dropped a scoop about Peter Quill's father, and they name dropped Captain Marvel. And soon after, all these movie sites were going with this rumor as if it were like official. You guys see what I mean here? Like, you know, it caused this whole like
Uproar.
uproar. It was crazy. So James Gunn jumps on social media, and I threw this in the article that I sent you guys on the very bottom. James Gunn jumps on social media and denies these rumors. I think he cursed. Like, that's how passionate he was. He was like, "This is so ridiculous. Like, you guys believe anything that you want." And then him and the Heroic Hollywood Twitter handle went back and forth on Twitter. Heroic Hollywood they kept pushing for an answer, and James Gunn was like, "Look, you guys are crazy, all right? Like, stop spreading this rumor as if it's like true, you know? Like,
He was basically antagonizing Gunn,
pretty much
like on Twitter, kind of just like
I
trying to.
didn't know this is what started that argument.
Yeah.
I knew they got in an argument, but I didn't know it was because
Yeah,
of
he
this.
ran with an
Yeah.
article saying that they found out who Peter Quill's father was, and then James Gunn responded, and then the back and forth went, and Gia and I talked about it a lot.
Yeah.
'cause- and,
I got really disappointed at Heroic Hollywood and someone who I look up to on that site. But I mean, I'm gonna take James Gunn's side here and say that Captain Marvel is not the guy. James Gunn has stated that he's never lied to the fans, you know, in any way or.
He's a fans director.
He's a fans
He's just
director.
like he's exactly like a J.J. Abrams. He's exactly like
He's awesome.
the dude
Like,
knows
I
what he's
don't
talking about.
follow a lot of like actors and directors on Twitter, but I follow James Gunn.
James
He
Gunn.
is-
He
James
is my
Gunn.
favorite
Yeah.
director on
He's
Twitter,
awesome.
hands down.
And
He's
you know
awesome.
when
Yeah.
he's never gonna like try to bullshit you. He's
Yeah.
always gonna like, you know, he's never gonna steer you in the wrong direction or like try to hint
He's
you
just not
to
going
the
to tell
wrong-
you. He's
Exactly.
just not going
does-
to tell you.
he
He
does
doesn't
And
try
if
to.
he
Q&As.
does tell you something, you know you can trust him
Yeah.
too.
He does a Q&A with the fans like every single week on his Twitter handle.
He's awesome. You
All
can
the
just
time.
tell how genuine he is.
Yeah.
Honestly.
So
He
Marvel.
loves what he does.
Oh,
and he
yeah.
loves sharing that with the fans, so that's amazing.
Marvel's not the guy. Personally, after this, I don't even care anymore. You know, I'm gonna wait till the movie comes out. You know, this whole handling thing of the rumor was bad, left a bad taste in my mouth. But I'm gonna ask you guys, because that's just my opinion. Who do you think would be Peter Quill's father? Who do you think should be? I mean, we got names like Warlock. and
First of all, considering the whole back and forth between the two, just as you, it upset me a lot. I actually unfollowed everything on heroic Hollywood. Like,
Yeah.
it pissed me off pretty bad.
No, you weren't the only one. A lot of people did.
And
Yeah.
I just couldn't believe like how it all went down.
Uh-huh.
But as far as like father speculation, Jason, his actual father from the comics, that's out of the question. James Gunn, I think, has said that they're not going that route. I know that people have kind of been like throwing it aside, saying it's not going to happen, but I just keep going back to Adam Warlock. Because from what the Nova Corps told him in Guardians of the Galaxy, told Peter Quill, his father's an ancient race, from some kind of ancient being, and that immediately points to Adam Warlock for me. The fact that we saw his cocoon with the Collector, like it. I may be completely off. I probably am, because James Gunn's. There's no doubt he's going to give us the perfect answer, an answer that fits so well with the story, that continues the story for Star-Lord. But I just keep going back to Adam Warlock. It fits. I think bringing Warlock in this universe when Thanos is going to be around is huge, because they're going to need someone like him to defeat Thanos, the Guardians and the Avengers. Warlock, he's very, very powerful. And having him defeat Thanos and then possibly having his bad side come out, because he has an alter ego, and him being the ultimate villain that the universe needs to take on next, that's a story. Like, can you imagine Star-Lord fighting his father? I mean, that's a really cool storyline to go with, but the possibilities are endless at this point. It can be anybody, but for me, I keep going back to Adam Warlock.
What do you think, Jacob?
I think it's Adam Warlock. I mean, it makes sense, and especially who's rumored to play him, Kurt Russell. Right?
No, they didn't say Warlock. He said Star-Lord's father.
Well,
yes.
That's what I meant. And if it is, it would make sense, because we already know that it's heavily speculated that Warlock's going to make an appearance, and I think I think Warlock. I don't know, because Kurt Russell, he's old. I don't know. Does Warlock age? I really don't know.
He is, if you go from the comic book to Kurt Russell, he is younger than Kurt Russell.
Of course, yeah.
But that does not
doesn't
change
mean
anything.
Exactly. At all.
Because Warlock has been around for a very, very long time.
I
if
think
I'm
it would
correct.
make sense, honestly. Yeah. It would totally
Can you
make
imagine
sense.
Kurt Russell and Star-Lord, father and son?
Oh, man.
Kurt Russell and Chris Pratt. Those two together.
Again,
And it's
amazing.
like,
oh my god.
Okay, so
directed by James Gunn. Come
if
on.
you look at the
That's
first,
just too good. Too good.
yeah, if you look at the first
Not gonna
Guardians of the
happen.
Galaxy movie, there's hints towards not who his father is, but things about his father. The mother says, "You look just like your father," when he walks into the hospital room, and so that means he has human characteristics. He's not like some alien. I mean, he is an alien, but he's not.
But he's
doesn't
not.
look like an alien. Like
yes.
he's an alien in human form. So we know that. And Adam Warlock, that's what he is, right? He's in human form.
Well, he looks
right?
like human, yes.
Exactly. So I think if I had to put money on it, Adam Warlock for sure, and I hope Kurt Russell's playing him. That would be incredible.
Christiane, do you have any opinions about this? Star-Lord's father, is it a
All
big
I
deal?
want is Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell?
That's all I want.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
That would be awesome.
want.
I think it's gonna happen. I think that the dude. I mean, he did Hateful Eight. We saw him in Furious 7. He's kind of back on the train of doing movies.
Like
I
a
think,
sexy dad and a sexy son.
think
That's what we need at Marvel.
I mean, we've seen it. We talked about it before, but Michael Douglas, Robert Redford, Glenn Close, like all these big names are joining, like possibly Kate Blanchett.
I love that.
They're joining
Yeah.
these movies.
And
why not Kurt Russell?
We haven't really had a father-son relationship story in the MCU, have we?
No, because Tony Stark and his dad, they weren't together. They've never been
Exactly.
together.
Just a father-daughter. and that's it.
I mean, we've had
Well, yeah,
we'd have mentor like
Well, father-daughter and Michael Douglas.
exactly.
And,
That
yeah.
movie was a big theme in Ant-Man was father and daughter relationships. I think that'll be a big theme in Guardians of the Galaxy.
And,
too.
and like I said, if it is in fact Adam
I mean-
Warlock, we see him defeat Thanos, but then Adam Warlock, eventually he turns bad.
Yeah.
He has an alter ego called
that's
Magnus.
scary. That's
And
scary.
seeing Kurt Russell be the big bat, oh dude.
Didn't James Gunn tweet, forgive me if I'm mistaken, but he tweeted that Guardians of the Galaxy 2 will be a story about fathers. That's what he
It'd
said.
be a story about, it's a main part of the story, Star-Lord finding out who his father is.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he said it's a story about fathers.
Gamora and Thanos.
And it'll not just Star-Lord, but Thanos with Gamora and
Nebula.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
All right, well, that about does it, guys. Thank you for joining us for the first Rumors Central podcast. I thought this went pretty well, right, guys?
It did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
it's
a
fun.
first episode. Yeah,
It is fun, definitely.
these episodes will definitely be more shorter. This will be probably a bi-weekly show every other week.
Well, we were looking at a whole year of rumors.
Right,
From
yeah.
now on, it'll just be the rumors from
Yeah.
those past couple weeks.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. So I want to thank all the people that joined me today. Jacob Barley, you want to tell them where they can find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at Governor Bartley. You can find me on ApocaFLIXmovies.com all the time. You can find me on this YouTube channel. Please subscribe. Please hit that like button. We would truly, truly appreciate it.
And Jake Berlin, what about you?
Twitter, Instagram at Qui-Gon Jake. ApocaFLIX Movies every day, writing some beautiful articles. And make sure to check out our All Star Wars podcast, the Padawan podcast.
Yeah.
Yep.
We took a little bit of a hiatus, but today we're recording the first episode of 2016 with some
Oh, yeah.
juicy stuff going on. So.
True.
And our special guest, Christiane, where can they find you online?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Christiane Lely. And thanks for having me, guys. I had so much fun today.
Yeah, it was fun having you.
Great
Thanks
having
for joining
you.
us.
Yeah, and you guys can find me online on Twitter at GeoRamos24 and on ApocaFLIXmovies.com every day. Be sure to check out our Rumors Central site, the category section on the site, where you can find all these rumors and more. And we'll see you guys next time.